Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast, and we are continuing our mock draft mania. We're doing another mock draft today. We're going to do it on Yahoo. I just found out in my standard points league, 12 team, I'm going to be picking 7th. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a draft from that position. We're going to see what kind of team we can get, and we're going to utilize that top 50 dominator strategy to try to get ourselves as many top 50 players as we can. So there we go. Let's do it.
Listen up. It's time for the Fantasy Maverick podcast, starring the guy who's going to help you win that fantasy championship, Jimmy Maverick.
Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Maverick podcast, and we are in mock draft season. I am super happy about that right now, so we are going to do a mock draft today. I just found out that in my standard points league that I've been playing in, I have gone ahead and been placed at 7th, so we are going to do a 12-team mock draft from the 7th position, utilizing standard points. And we're going to see what kind of team we can build. All right. So you can see I've already got this set up. We're going to be doing this on Yahoo today because that's where I actually run this league. And you can see me right there. We got a minute and a half till it starts. And we are going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, to help us pick players. And I'm just going to tell you right now, if you want to win your draft, you need to use this app. And you can access it through my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. That's where you can sign up. You can try it out. You can actually try it out on a standard points mock for free. That's right. There's a limited version of the app that lets you try it out. You can access the standard points list and the 12-team draft mode, and it doesn't cost anything. And if you like it, you can subscribe. You can unlock all the lists and all the ratings and utilize it for any size league that you're in. And it's only $19.95 for a full year subscription, unlimited access. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this works. Now, when you go and you got 3 questions to answer, it's a quick start. So it's just how does your league score points? In this case, we're going to do standard points. Do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? Let's go ahead and we will say yes. And then do you want to enter draft mode? Draft mode sets the size of your league and your draft position. So it's a 12-team league. You got to give it a second to pop in sometimes. I know that my internet can be slow. And come on, computer, let's go. I'm going to put on my hotspot here. Let's try it again. 12-team, picking 7. Let's go ahead and enter draft mode. So you see the draft list right here. Position filters right here. And what's going to pop in are the draft mode filters, which is breaking down the list for each round of the draft. This represents each round. We're going to minimize this, the recommendations for the players that it likes. And down here, you got the player list. Now, the players are sorted according to what I call the Vork Score, which stands for value, outlook, reliability, and consistency. It is these 4 columns right here. Based on how they score, they get points. Those points are added up. That's the Vork Score. And what you want to do is focus on players at the top part of the list, ignore the players on the bottom. And what I like to say is, if a player scores more than 40 Vork points, they're a good choice for your fantasy team. I always like to get guys that score as much as possible, though. So that kind of helps you with figuring out who you're going to go for. So you can see here in the first round, it is recommending Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, and Chris Godwin. You can also see we have long shots that may make it to us, but probably won't. Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, and Derrick Henry. So they're all very well scored here. Now, Nick Chubb has these hands. That means he's a reach, which means if we pass on Nick Chubb, there's basically about a 50-50 shot he would make it to our next pick. But what I like to do is set this up. So why don't we put down, and I always utilize the queue. When I'm in the draft mode, oh, here we go. It's ready to go. A minute to go? All right. I love to use the queue. It's over here on the draft board. Really, it's going to help you out, and it also helps if there's any interruption in your service during the course of a live draft. So let's go ahead, and we'll put Zeke and Kamara and Henry first on the list because, they're all long shots to make it to us. But then let's go ahead and put Chubb and Josh Jacobs next on the list. And what I want to do is I'm going to utilize my top 50 dominator strategy. So I'm going to try to get myself 6 players with top 50 value. And that is very easy to do this year because of the way the wide receiver position is so deep. I've never been able to do this before, so I'm taking full advantage of it every time I can. And we're going to go running back, probably to start the draft. Although in standard points leagues, there's a ton of running backs that qualify as top 50 value. And a lot of those quarterbacks are available in, a lot of those running backs are available in rounds 4 and 5. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. I've been working all day and I'm a little tired, but we're going to get through this. We're going to do it and we are going to win. So let's see what happens. We're going to go, let me go click to the draft results here. And we'll see if anything unusual happens, but it probably won't. We're going to get McCaffrey, Barkley, and then Kamara. Kamara went third. That's interesting. Zeke now. But you can see the guys, they come off your queue. And the reason why I like to use the queue is because if any of these players make it to our next pick, I want to know they're still on the board. I want to see them up here on the queue. So, we can also look, are there any other running backs that score over 40 Vork points this round? There's probably a ton. After Jacobs, we got Mixon. Oh, really? It's just one more. It's Mixon. Let's go ahead and put Mixon on the list too. So we'll add him as well. But you can see in the draft results here, we've got 5 running backs in a row that were taken. Again, Derrick Henry, we'll see what Prime takes. Prime right here before me. We'll see if he takes a wide receiver. No, he took Cook. Okay, so Henry did make it to us. And even though Chubb scores higher, just the fact that Chubb is a long shot to make it to us, I'll take that chance. Henry does offer better value. Value rank 4 versus Chubb, who's 6. I mean, they're very close, right? They're very equivalent. But let's go ahead. We'll take Henry. All right. So we'll see. So now all we need to do is just go to the second round. And we've already got Chubb queued up, okay? But who would be next? So we got Chris Carson, Austin Eckler, and it looks like Jonathan Taylor also scores 39 Vork points. That's close enough for me. So let's put Carson, Eckler, and Taylor on the queue for the next round. So let me just go to running backs, and we'll go Carson and Eckler and Taylor right there. Okay, that's good. So we'll go back. We'll look at the draft results. We'll see what's going on here. So a couple of wide receivers have come off the board. And as far as the third round goes, we can look at wide receivers in the third round. And actually, you know what? I'm going to queue up some second round wide receivers because if any of them make it, that'd be great. So we got Kenny Golladay, Chris Godwin. Those are the only 2 that score over 40. So let's put Golladay and Godwin on the queue. You never know. We'll never know who's going to make it. So let's go wide receivers. There's Godwin. There's Golladay. All right, so we got a nice long list of players. That's always what I like to have in my queue. Lots of options for us to choose from. And so for the first round, here's what happened, man. 7 running backs in a row. McCaffrey, Barkley, Kamara, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry. I'm telling you what, CEH is moving up the draft board, man. He used to be like top 7, top 8. You had a good chance to get him, but now he's like going 4th. I mean, that's crazy. But I can understand why people are high on him in that offense. After us, it was Michael Thomas, then Julio Jones, then Joe Mixon, Devontae Adams, and Nick Chubb closed out the first round. So that was our gamble for the reach. Obviously, he didn't make it back to us. But again, it was a long shot anyway. So I'm not really too disappointed. We knew that was the risk. Frankly, I'd rather have Henry than Chubb. But I think they're both good. They're both very, very good. Josh Jacobs was the first player taken in the second round. So you can see here now, when I'm putting these on the queue, I'm also putting them in the order that I want them. So Carson is kind of my top choice. Eckler is my next choice. Jonathan Taylor would be the choice after that. Godwin and Golladay, I've really just put them on because if they make it to my third pick, I would be interested in, possibly taking them. I don't anticipate that they would stay on the board that long, but you never know. You never know. So you might as well take a chance. So it is still 3 picks to mine. Tyreek Hill just came off. And so let me go back to the players and we can just look at the player list right now. So we got Kittle and Drake, Eckler, Kelsey, Sanders still on the list here. Now, Chris Carson is also a long shot. Chris Carson, if we look at the second round running backs, Chris Carson is a long shot to make it to us on our third pick. So we could wait on Carson and take a guy, like if Eckler made it to us, we could take Eckler. Great value there. I'm not as high on his outlook, but, high reliability, nice consistency. Let's see who's available. So if we're looking at our queue, so Carson is still there. It looks like, okay, so it looks like Eckler did get taken. So I'm going to go with the best running back on the board for this round. So I'm going to take Chris Carson, and Henry and Carson as a 1-2 punch is a rock solid 1-2 punch. We've got the 6th most valuable player and the 12th most valuable player on our team. So 2 essentially RB1s that we have taken. So now let's look at the third round. And in the third round, I want to consider wide receivers because, we have the option with our dominator strategy to get ourselves a better wide receiver in the third round, and then we can get ourselves another running back in the fourth round. So if we're looking here at receivers, and in a standard points leagues, they're not particularly valuable. We're talking, we'll be at pick 31. So we got a couple of fair value options. Kupp and Woods are the 2 most valuable players. Also, Thielen scores very well. So let's put Kupp, Woods, and Thielen on the queue. So we will go here, go to wide receivers, and we will go to Kupp and Woods and Thielen right there. Okay, so those are all good choices. Anyone else that scores over 40 on this round? Let's see here. Odell Beckham Jr., Calvin Ridley, who's a reach. Let's put Beckham in and Ridley on as well. So there's Beckham. There's Ridley. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so if we look at running backs for the third round, I'm sure there's some decent options. We already got Carson. Jonathan Taylor is is a long shot to make it to us. No one else scores over 40 Vork points. So we got Le'Veon Bell and we got James Conner here. They do both offer top 50 value, and I could put him on the queue, but at this point, I'm not real interested. Le'Veon Bell might be interesting on the next round because he's got 33 Vork points here. He'll have more in the fourth round. So let's go ahead. Let's just put Bell on. Might as well, right? What's the harm? Although I got to tell you, I'm really pretty much all out on Bell at this point. I just really don't want him. I think he should be more of a 5th or a 6th round pick. He's still going in the 4th. For the most part, maybe even the 3rd, I'm really not touching that right now. I don't trust Adam Gase, and I don't trust that offense. Let's see what the draft results are. So here's what's going on. So after our pick of Chris Carson, then it was Aaron Jones and Kenyon Drake. Then Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, Allen Robinson closed out the second round. Third round, James Conner, Chris Godwin, Kenny Golladay, both went in the early third round, so that's not surprising. Lamar Jackson comes off. Adam Thielen, Melvin Gordon just came up. So check it out. Jonathan Taylor is still on the board. We could take someone like Kupp or Woods, Odell Beckham, Calvin Ridley. You know what? Of this group, I got to say, I'm going for the upside of Jonathan Taylor here. I really, really like what he offers as a third-round pick. He is our flex running back. I'm very comfortable with having a rookie running back as my flex option. So let's just go with it. Well, I was planning to go 1, 2, 3 on running backs anyway, but the wide receivers weren't really blowing me away for the third round. So let's go to the fourth round now. We'll look at wide receivers here. We'll definitely take one. We got Ridley as a long shot. We got Metcalf and Sutton as reaches. So let's put them on, Metcalf and Sutton. So let's go back here, go to wide receivers. Metcalf, Sutton. Who else is on the board here? Cooper Kupp we already got. DJ Chark, also a good choice. Very good value right now. So he offers some decent value, 40 Vork points. Let's put Chark on there too. I do have Chark valued as my wide receiver 12 right now. So he's a 1, as is Woods. Woods is also a 1. So, I'd be very interested if we could get both of those guys. And Woods is still really deep on this. He's at 61. And what is our next pick would be at 55. I think we could get him. I think we could get Woods on the 5th round pick. We take someone like Chark in the 4th. I think that'd be That would be outstanding. That would be a rock solid play. So we got tons of guys still sitting on the queue here. So that's looking real good. Here's what's going on right now on the draft board. Since our pick, all wide receivers: Evans, Juju Smith-Schuster, DJ Moore, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, all in a row right there. So obviously people have kind of taken almost all of the elite running backs that are available, and it's getting much thinner in that position, especially in regards to top 50 value players. So, but Kupp is a player who I very much like. He is also rated as a 1, but his consistency is much worse than Robert Woods. And so you got to balance that consistency with the fact that he's going to get more touchdowns than Woods, right? So which do you want? Do you want the more consistent player or the bigger boom-bust player? And for fantasy, I really want a guy I can count on each week, that I'm not going to be scared to start because I'm not sure if he's going to get anything or not. I always say that in season-long fantasy, man, the worst kind of player to have is the player that gets you 12 targets one week and 3 targets the next. That just murders your fantasy team because you know what's going to happen. You'll bench him then after the week he gets 3 targets, and he'll get like 10 targets. So you put him in your lineup, and then the week after that he'll get like 5 targets. So it's just, again, I stay away from low consistency players because I don't trust them. And Kupp scores, let's see here, Cooper Kupp scores 3 out of 10. So I like players that score 5 or more on the consistency rating, and that's who I look for. But look, okay, so here we are. I really like the idea of going for Chark on this round, and then we'll circle around and get Woods on the next. So that basically would give me 2 low-end 1s or high-end 2s, depending on how it goes. But I got to say, I'm really big on Chark since they got rid of Fournette. This is a team that's going to have negative game scripts all the time this year. They're going to throw the ball a ton. I really like the connection between Minshew and Chark. I have him rated as my wide receiver 12. I think he's a great choice right now. And the fact that you can get a wide receiver 12 in the 4th round is outstanding. I mean, that's how you win your fantasy league, man, is that's how you do it. And look at all the choices we still have on the board. Woods is absolutely my top choice for the next round. If we can get both Chark and Woods, I'm just going to be jumping for joy. Okay, so Kupp finally came off. Let's look at the we got to go to the 5th round now. So let's look at the 5th round. 5th round wide receivers. We already got Metcalf, Sutton, and let's Keenan Allen. Nah, he's not the guy. See, those are the only 2 guys that score over 40 Vork points. Let's look at the running backs because there's probably some decent running backs. Okay, here's a good one right here. Singletary offers top 50 value. Let's put Singletary on the queue. Running backs. Where are you, Singletary? There's Singletary right there. He would be a great choice. Oh, looks like guys are coming up. Oh, looks like Woods got taken. That's too bad. But let's see here. We still have Ridley, Metcalf, and Sutton. And quite frankly, I'm happy with any of those guys. If I had to choose between them, Ridley is such a boom player. Let's look here. One thing you can do is you can restore players from prior rounds. Ridley's not supposed to make it to us this late, and I bet he's going to be gone. But if we restore him, you can see he restores right to the top of the list. He's the highest scoring player. Metcalf's right below him. Sutton's right below him. These guys are all what I would consider equivalent, but the one with the best value is Sutton. So Sutton would be the guy that I would take if Ridley doesn't make it. But I love the upside of Ridley this year. Oh, and Ridley's gone. So that's a moot point. We knew we needed to take him in the 4th round. So we are still looking good, though. Metcalf and Sutton, we only got 2 more picks till it gets to us. And so one of them is definitely going to make it. I think I'm going to take the higher value player. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Sutton. All right, let's go ahead and draft him. And, I could have taken Singletary also, but Sutton offers much better value than Singletary does. Singletary's value was, where is Singletary? 47th, whereas Sutton is 35th. So we got to take the value, right? We got to go with the value. Let's look at the 6th round. And in the 6th round, there's always a wide receiver that I'm targeting. As part of my strategy, he offers top 50 value in most leagues, not in in standard points leagues, though, but that is Jarvis Landry, who is 54th overall, but he's still a great choice. So you got Landry, you got Gallup on this round. I think both those guys are good. Let's queue them up. We got, let's see here. There's Landry. Where's Gallup? Gallup's right there. Okay, let's look at the running backs. Are there any good running backs here for this round? Again, Singletary's a long shot. If Singletary made it to us, I'd probably take him because at that point, he's a great value, right? He's given us some good value. Howard, not that great. What are some other players? So if we look at quarterbacks, we could maybe go, we got Deshaun Watson as a long shot, Matt Ryan as a reach, Russell Wilson as a long shot. I usually wait till I want to be the last person in my league to take a quarterback. That's my general strategy. So unless there's someone outstanding available, I'd probably pass. Hayden Hurst is a reach here. I do like him as a tight end. Let's go ahead and get him on the queue just so I have my eyes on him. And he's still very deep on the and look, Darren Waller's still available too. How does Waller score in the 6th round? Let's look. Because Waller should have been gone already. Waller scores 31 Vork points, but his value is much better, actually. He might be worth a pick, actually. I like the fifth round to take a player. So let's take a look. So we got tons of options here. And again, we said if Singletary made it to us, we could take him. I like that. Let's go ahead and take Singletary. So that way we have 4 top 50 value running backs on this team. Chark and Sutton both, like I said, Chark is a low-end 1. Cortland Sutton is a high-end 2. I got him as like the 13th. Chark is the 12th, so that's a great combo of wide receivers to have. Now, we can hope that Landry or Gallup makes it back to us. We can also very much consider Hurst or Waller in the 7th if they make it back to us, because that would be amazing. That's just amazing value. But let's click on the 7th round. Let's see what kind of players are available. So it's recommending Lindsay, Breida, and Higbee. So let's look at the running backs first. And Lindsay does score over 40. Breida does not. He's not that great for value. This is kind of a thin round for players, but let's get Lindsay on the queue for sure, because I do like Lindsay's upside. I like him better than Gordon, to tell you the truth. Okay, so let's look at the wide receivers. Not great wide receivers for Vork Score. We got Jones, Cooks, and Fuller. Fuller I do have labeled as a breakout candidate. He's got a contract year. He's a high-risk play. I'm going to put him on the queue just because he's a very interesting player for me. So let's go ahead. We'll put Fuller on the queue. And things are coming back to us. We still got a bunch of guys on the list here. Let's look at the tight ends. Again, Hayden Hurst is the long shot. We already got him on the queue. Hunter Henry, Tyler Higbee, they don't score well, so I'm not really interested in them. And all right, so let's kind of review what's going on right now. So since our last pick, since we took Singletary, it then went T.Y. Hilton, Josh Allen, J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Boyd, Darren Waller, Jared Cook, Carson Wentz, David Montgomery, Devontae Parker, Stephon Diggs, and Hunter Henry just came off. So we got to take our tight end. So if Hurst makes it to us, and Hurst did make it to us, that is great. I can't believe Landry's still on the board in the 7th. But let's take our tight end. That just gives me more of a level of comfort. And we are now sitting on, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 quarterbacks taken right now. So there's not going to be a big demand for quarterbacks over the next few rounds. We can probably milk that and wait on a quarterback. Right now for round 8, let's see who it's saying. So for quarterbacks, you got Tom Brady as a long shot, Matthew Stafford. Brady does score over 44 points, and I got to say, I do like Brady this year. I think that offense is going to be tremendous. Let's put Brady on the queue. I'm very comfortable taking him. The one thing you really got to know, though, when it comes to these quarterbacks, I'm going to put Stafford on there as well, just in case he goes a little bit later. But Brady offers, both Brady and Stafford, I think, both offered nice value relative to their draft position right now. So they're both good choices. Let's look at who else is in the 8th round. So for running backs, We already have Lindsay. You got Kerryon Johnson here. He scores very well. No one else really does, though. Let's put Kerryon Johnson on the queue as well. And where is Kerryon? There he is. Who else can we look at? Let's look at wide receivers. Wide receivers, we don't have any wide receivers earning over 40 Vork points here. The highest would be Christian Kirk, who, you know what, he does offer top 100 value, and it's a contract year. I kind of like that offense. I'm going to consider him, but only if he falls, right? That's kind of, I just want him on my radar. So where is Christian Kirk? There he is. So there's where we're at for the 8th round. And we've already got our tight end. We don't need to worry about a tight end now. Let's see what's going on the draft results. So, since our pick, here's who came off. Will Fuller, Evan Ingram, Drew Brees, Zach Moss, Mike Gesicki. Now, okay, here's what's going on. And this is why I hate Yahoo, is because starting in the 8th round, all these defenses start to come off with the auto picks. And then in the 9th round, it's going to be all kickers. And so it really kind of opens things up for those of us who don't follow the stupid algorithm. You can see Landry, Lindsay, Landry is still on the board. This is crazy. Let's take him. Let's just take him. My God, that is unbelievable that he made it to the 8th round. That's crazy. So basically, we've ended up with 7 players with almost top 50 value. Jarvis Landry was like 53, right? So that's close enough for me. That's good enough for me. 8 players with basically top 50 value. That's brilliant. I love that. So let's go to the 9th round here. And again, let's look. First of all, let's look at the running backs. And so the running backs that are scoring well here are Marlon Mack and Alexander Mattison. I like both those options. Let's go ahead and put them on the queue. So Marlon Mack, Alexander Mattison. There he is. Okay. And let's look at wide receivers. We got Sterling Shepard, John Brown, and Jamison Crowder. So those are all good choices. Wide receivers. Let's see here. Where is Sterling Shepard already got? No, he's there. Sterling Shepard, John Brown, Jamison Crowder. So those are all good choices. And you can see Kirk is even below them on the list. So Kirk has a good chance to make it to us. How does Kirk score on this round? So there he is. Let's restore him. Kirk scores 47 Vork points. So again, he was not a good choice in the 8th round, but in the 9th round, he is a good choice because his value is much better relative to your draft position. So that's a big reason why the app works so well in helping you find the best players. You can see Brady and Stafford are still both on the board. And you can see here also we got a bunch of defenses that come off. And now here come the kickers. So again, I don't think we need to take our quarterback until like the 10th round because the stupid algorithm just ties up all these players. And so you can't really count on that in the live draft. But you can take advantage of it in this draft. So let's go ahead. We can take our 4th wide receiver here. I like that. Let's go ahead and take Kirk. And that's a great wide receiver core. I really like that. Christian Kirk's value, by the way, 97th overall. Okay, so he's top 100. He does have some flex value there, so that's decent. But both all these other 3 guys are great, so I'm super happy with that. Let's go to the 10th round. I'm betting in the 10th round we're probably going to want to take our quarterback, but let's see who else is available. So Sterling Shepard, John Brown, both long shots for this round. We already got them on the queue. Let's look at running backs. Madison's a long shot. Really, no one else rates well here, although I do have Damian Harris and Chase Edmonds, both with the breakout moniker. Those guys might be worth targeting. So let me put them up on the queue. Harris and Edmonds. So we're going to go to running backs. There's Harris. There's Edmonds. Okay. And any other quarterbacks? You got Daniel Jones also scores pretty well here, so we can put him on the queue. Let's go quarterbacks. Daniel Jones. Where is he? There he is. Okay, he's there. All right. So, again, like I said, I knew we didn't need to take our quarterback. There's only 3 other teams that need a quarterback right now, and you can see, again, kickers, along with all the defenses. It's part of the thing that you got to take it with a grain of salt. What I like to say with the quarterbacks is pick your favorite quarterback in advance. All right, let's just go to the player list. So we just go to just quarterbacks, and I want to show the drafted. So let's just say Tom Brady was your guy. Okay, Tom Brady is the guy you want. To ensure that you get him every time, here's what you do. You count back 3 quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3. That's Drew Brees, okay? The rule is that once Drew Brees comes off the board, take Tom Brady with your next pick. You'll get your quarterback 99 times out of 100. I mean, or 95 times out of 100. I won't go, Here is why you need to have the queue set up. What's going on? Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause real quick. All right, so what happened? Yeah, we had an interruption in the internet service, and thank goodness I had stuff in my queue because otherwise it would have probably auto-picked me someone crappy. So I ended up getting Tom Brady, who I wanted, who I was going to take anyway. So there you go. So we're in good shape. So we still got all these guys on our queue. We're heading for round 11. Let's go in and we'll queue up some more players. So if we look at running backs, you can see here. Not a lot of great options. Adrian Peterson scores all right. I'm not really interested in him. Wide receivers, Golden Tate. That's a good choice too. Let's go ahead and get him queued up. Wide receivers, Golden Tate. He's right there. Anybody else that we're particularly interested in? I'm not really seeing anybody. We don't need a tight end. We don't need a quarterback. We already got those. I only draft one of each. Unless you have at least 8 bench slots, only draft 1 quarterback and 1 tight end. Don't waste bench spots on those other players because you're not going to need them. And we're in really good shape. I'm really liking this team. Let's see what's going on the draft results. All right, so after our pick of Tom Brady, then it went Jamison Crowder, Ben Roethlisberger, the Saints, defense, Sony Michel, Brandon Cooks, Jared Goff, Darius Slayton, Tariq Cohen, Noah Fant, Ryan Tannehill. So who is still on the board here? So we got Marlon Mack, Alexander Madison, John Brown, Damian Harris, Chase Edmonds, Golden Tate, all still on the board. John Brown just came off. Let's definitely go back to running backs. I'm going to take a high upside running back here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take I think I might be able to wait on Madison. Let's take Mack. I've already got Taylor, right? So this is almost like a handcuff, but Marlon Mack might have standalone value. We'll see what the offense does. But I think at least for the first month, Mack is probably going to be viable in the flex position. And I like just having him as a backup to Taylor. So I think that's a good choice. And you can see that more quarterbacks are coming off the board now as people are taking their second quarterback because, again, it's the stupid algorithm. But I'm glad that we got Brady in the 10th. That's a great deal, great value, and we were able to get 9 non-quarterback players before we took him. And that's why you don't need to spend an early draft pick on a quarterback. I actually have Brady rated as, I think he's like 7th or 6th quarterback this year, most valuable. So he's a great choice. Great choice as a late quarterback, as is Stafford. I really like Stafford too. And Stafford also went on the 10th. So there you go. So let's go to, we got to go to the 12th round, right? 12th round. Let's see what's going on here. So for wide receivers, Alan Lazard scores very well here. And we already got Tate, so let's put Lazard on there. Where is he? Oh, and look, Preston Williams is here on the board. Shoot, I'll take Preston Williams. Lazard, okay. I mean, if we restore Preston Williams here, let's see how he scores. Yeah, 68 Vork points. Yes, he's a great choice here. And his value is top 100, whereas Lazard is not. So that's a good choice. Let's look at running backs. Boston Scott. I love Boston Scott. I'm trying to get him in almost every league that I have. Let's put him on the queue. Boston Scott right there. But we've got tons of other guys that are still on the board that have not been taken. It's almost back to us now. Let's see what's going on this round. So after Marlon Mack, Aaron Rodgers came off, then Anthony Miller, Antonio Gibson, Tevin Coleman, Emmanuel Sanders, then Rob Gronkowski at the start of the 12th round, Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton, Again, there's no need to take 2 quarterbacks. No need at all. Quarterback position is so deep, and you'll always be able to find good guys on the waiver wire that you can utilize. It'll be startable players. You got, last year it was Tannehill, it was Minshew. I mean, there was all sorts of guys that were available late, just sitting on the waiver wire. You just pick up whenever you wanted them. CeeDee Lamb went in the 12th round there. So again, hardly any of our targets have come off. Let's take Madison here. I really like that. And we're only going to have one more round of players, and then it's going to, be the defense and the kicker. So I think we could, in this kind of league, because there's only 2 draft slots and it's 2 draft slots and 1 flex. I only need 4 wide receivers, and I love these 4. This is a great 4 to take into the season with me. If I was going to go late, let's look at 13th round. I mean, I think Robbie Anderson's in the 13th round. Yeah, Robbie Anderson. He's the guy I'll put him on the queue. We're probably not going to take him, but I think he would be an excellent choice. Let's go wide receivers. Robbie, where are you? There you are, Robbie. Okay. And then as far as running backs go, any running backs of interest in the 13th round? No, not really. We got Nyheim Hines, Chris Thompson, Joshua Kelly. I don't need Nyheim Hines, given that I already have 2 other running backs on this team. I really don't need a third. But look at all the options. I mean, I think Damian Harris would be a great choice for our last running back. Actually, you know what? I might have maxed out on running backs. I have maxed out. They're not going to let me take a running back. So I'll have to take a wide receiver. So let's take off the running backs. Edmonds, Scott. Okay, so we're going to take one of these guys. We're going to take Preston, Lazard, or Anderson. And what is Anderson's value? Let me look at Anderson's offering, his value is 89th, but Preston Williams' value is 96. So they're both really good. I'm going to take the upside of Preston because I got him labeled as breakout. And Anderson's new on the team. Those kind of players I'm mostly staying away from. I don't like players that switch teams in the offseason. Tom Brady accepted. No, but notice how Tom Brady is like the only guy I have who switched teams so far. That's it. And I just love what I'm hearing out of camp. So I've got full confidence he's going to be outstanding. But I'm super happy to get Preston Williams here this late in the 13th round. This is just because they have him buried. Preston Williams is buried so deep on the draft board. It's crazy. They've got him at. They got him at. Let's look at the players list here. If we show the drafted players. Okay, they got him at 139. So we actually got a good value. I guess they moved him up because he was in the 180s yesterday. So I don't know what was going on with that. That was just nuts. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves a defense and a kicker. And my go-to late round defense is Philadelphia. I love that. I love their early season schedule. And then for a kicker, it's just a guy that plays on a good offense and hopefully in a dome. That's who I look for. And you get one of those, you'll be fine. I'm usually ending up with Koo from the Atlanta Falcons. I really like the Falcons offense this year. They're going to score a lot of points. There's going to be lots of scoring opportunities there. But what an outstanding team, man. This team is just solid top to bottom. Let's just kind of review real quick. We've got, for our running backs, Derrick Henry, Chris Carson as our 1-2. Jonathan Taylor is our flex. DJ Chark and Cortland Sutton as our wide receivers. Then our tight end is Hayden Hurst. And our quarterback is Tom Brady. So that's our starters. That's outstanding, man. That is such a solid lineup. I love that. I love the fact that I have Devin Singletary and Jarvis Landry on my bench. I can't even play these guys. They're both top 50 value. That's amazing. All right, let's see here. Did he make it back? Philly did make it back. Let's take Philly. And then now let's look at kickers. And so if we're looking at kickers, look, here's Dan Bailey of Minnesota. We've got Koo of Atlanta. Looks like most of the domes have been taken out. I think that's something in Yahoo where they got them ranked. But there's a lot of guys that are outside of domes, which will probably be great. Matt Gay would be really good. If I didn't already have several Tampa Bay players, I'd probably take him. Let's see, we got the Chargers, Denver, Seattle. Mason Crosby's always a favorite of mine to take just because he's a buff. Chris Boswell, Pittsburgh, they're going to score a lot of points. Yeah, let's see, are any others down here that are buried? No. But, Koo is kind of like my go-to. I think Dan Bailey's also a safe choice. They're both very good for their projected points. And again, when it comes to fantasy football, the difference between the number 1 kicker and the number 12 kicker is about 2 points a week. It's not that much. It's not worth it to do an early pick for one of those players. I'm just going to unselect Lazard and Anderson. We don't need them. And we are almost done. And then I'm excited to see what Yahoo has to say about my team. They're probably going to hate it because I didn't take a second quarterback and I didn't take a second take a second tight end. But you know what? I'm totally fine with it. I don't need to take those players. And okay, so I'm just going to pause it. We'll come back. We'll look at the players I selected on the app and see how it looks. This is a very strong team. I'm very happy with it. All right, we're back. So let's take a look at this team. And I got to say, it's a very, very strong team. Now, the first thing I want to show you is the value rank of our players. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players with top 50 value plus 1 at 54th. So we got 7 players with top 54 value. That is outstanding. For Outlook, all the players are at least 3 stars, except for Tom Brady, who only gets 2, but at least 3 stars or more. So great outlook across the board. Reliability, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 high reliability players. Only 1 low reliability player. That's Preston Williams, but that's fine. I'm willing to take the risk on him. Let's look at consistency. Let me reverse this. 1, 2, 3 players have scored a 10 out of 10. 5 players have scored 9 or better. 7 players have scored an 8 or better. Okay, so basically everybody except for Devin Singletary and Alexander Madison score better than average on consistency. And Singletary was a rookie last year, so he was being worked into the offense. So that's the reason why he didn't score that well. And then Madison was a backup, so it's no wonder that he scores low there. But again, anything happens to Cook, Madison's a 1. That's a great depth play, someone to sit on my bench. Very, very strong. Now, finally, let's just look at the players here. I got tons of contract year players. Cortland Sutton, Preston Williams, Marlon Mack, Chris Carson, Christian Kirk, DJ Chark, all contract year players. That is amazing. I love that. Upward trend in their usage. Derrick Henry, Marlon Mack, Chris Carson, all 3 of those. We've got Tom Brady as a bounce back player. We've got some breakouts here. We got Preston Williams, Alexander Madison, Jonathan Taylor, and Hayden Hurst, all as potential breakouts. The only negatives I see here are Derrick Henry and Tom Brady got the big contract, so that's a negative on them. And then Henry's got a regression tag, so that is a risk, but I'm not too concerned about that. He's still going to be outstanding, high volume running back on a standard points league. That's exactly what you want. So this is a very, very strong team. I very much like this. I see lots of 5 stars. We got some 4 stars, a ton of 3-star players. Any player that scores 3 stars or better is good enough for me. It's hard. It's hard to score 3 stars. And every player as we got them offered at least 40 Vork points. So they're all solid choices. That's why we have so many good players that have good consistency and good reliability and a good outlook and really good value. We really did great on the value. So there you go. So that's how you use it. So I just want to remind you one more time, go to my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. That's where you're going to find this app. You can sign up, you can try it out, and you can access it on any web-connected device. So just access it on your browser. So you can have it on your phone while you're in a live draft on your computer or however you want to do it, whatever works best for you. You saw how I used it here. I was just kind of going back and forth, and I would go and look at the players I really liked. Then I'd go over to the draft app. I'd put them on my queue. I'd go back. I'd find some more. I'd go back, put them on my queue. And then when it came time for my pick, I just got to pick amongst the players I already liked very much, and it wasn't so distracting. I wasn't distracted with trying to figure out, who was still on the board or who wasn't. Players that should have been taken early that were on my queue were still available later. I mean, getting Jarvis Landry in the 8th round was amazing. That's unbelievable. That's just an unbelievable value deal at that point in the draft. And, that happens. It happens in every draft. And we ended up we got a couple of long shots. That was nice. So that's pretty much the way it goes. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you got any questions about any of these players or if you want to talk about anything else. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. And that's it. See you later, everybody.